Good evening, YouTube. Welcome back to my green garage. What I'm going to do today is just run through a quick update. Really, I haven't had much time recently, so it's just a quick update today, really, on what I've been doing to it since I've taken the fairings off. Not much really, but I think there are a few little things that are worth mentioning. So let's get to it. Right, now firstly, I decided to, while I had the fairing off, I decided to take the air filter out. It doesn't look too bad really. It did have quite a few dead bugs and stuff in it, which I've managed to bang out. And I think I'll try and give it a proper clean, because that's definitely worth doing. So I'll do that. For reference, in case anyone doesn't know, the air filter sits just in there. There's a little panel here, look, it's just simply 2 bolts, whip that off there, and then it's just a case of, there's a little tab on the side of it, this tab here, and you can just stick your finger in there and pull it out. Another thing that's worth doing that I noticed when I took it out is in here, all down there, gets full of grime and dead bugs. And I mean, there was actually, when I first took the air filter out, there was a huge dead dragonfly in there. So yeah, it's worth trying to stick a small hoover nozzle or something in there, because it's very, very difficult, as you can see, to get your hands in there. So yeah, it's worth just trying to stick something in there to hoover out as much crap in there as you can, really. And now, one thing I forgot to mention actually in the last video when I took the fairings off, so I noticed that these 2 bolts here on the bottom from this side, from this panel, were actually missing completely. It didn't have any at all. And another thing was that 2 of the little plastic, the little black plastic lugs actually broke off. I think it was some of these ones here. I can't remember which 2 it was, but it was the little black lugs like these ones here. 2 of them actually broke. They've got 3 legs on them. I think on 2 of them, one of the legs broke off. So because of that, and because of those 2 bolts I was missing, I just thought, you know what, I've just gone and got a whole nother fairing bolt kit, some nice green aluminium ones, which has got obviously all the different size bolts you need, and it's got loads of the plastic lugs, you know, all the things that you need. So I've got loads of spares here and new ones, so I'll probably go around and change all the bolts for these nice green ones when I do put it back together. It's got loads of new plastic washers as well, so I'm not sure exactly what they're for, but I'm sure I'll find out at some point. But yeah, I just thought, as I was missing 2, and you know, because as they get older, these plastic things tend to perish and break. So I just thought, you know what, it wasn't expensive, so I just thought I'll get a whole nother bolt kit, so when I put it back together, I shouldn't have any worries. I did also, after I took the fairing off, I went over and with a cloth and just gave it all a nice wipe down. So it's a lot cleaner than it was. I mean, it wasn't too bad, but it was a bit grubby under there. So I've gone through every place I can see, every place I can get to with my hand and a cloth, you know, and a bit of degreaser to give it a wipe over and get it all nice and clean. Like all back here I couldn't get to before, but I've cleaned all that up nicely. And yeah, it's come up all right. So there really isn't much dirt on it at all now. It's all looks pretty good. There's the odd bit that you can't really get to with your hands. You know, but overall it's pretty good. And the main thing is I can't actually really see any rust anywhere. The only rust I've really found is down on these exhaust clamps here, which, you know, that's inevitable. But when I come to change these cans, these will be the clamps I want to be removing. So closer to the time when that day finally comes, we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I'm not particularly looking forward to that, if I'm honest, because I don't know if they're just going to snap, or if the heads are going to break off, or if they won't come off at all without cutting them off with a grinder, or what. I'm not really sure yet, but yeah, I'll deal with that when it comes to it. One thing I am going to do today is something that I want to do, is to remove this. This is the front sprocket cover, and apparently I've heard that, you know, underneath there, where the front sprocket is a prime place for it, holding on to a lot of dirt and crud. So I'm going to take this off and then see what it looks like underneath. By the looks of it, it's their 8mm bolts. I've got one there, one there, one there, there's one there, and it's one of these 3 that I need to remove. I'm not sure exactly which one it is, but we'll find out. Right, that's the last one of them 4. Now it's going to be one of these 3, so I think the best thing to do is to loosen them off one by one and see which one releases. There you go, look, yeah, telltale sign. Extremely long bolt that goes all the way through. A swift pull and hopefully it should there we go. Oh yes, that could definitely do with a clean in there. All round where the chain goes round the bend, that is absolutely full of crap in there. Give that a bloody good clean. Get it looking nice and new. I think the best thing to do actually might be to take this off. Take this guard off here. That's going to be, I think, by far the best thing to do. So let's do that. Oh, that's a 10mm bolt. So there's 3 bolts. There's one at the top, one at the bottom, and then the last one is just over here on the side. And there it is, look. You can see, look, just how much crap is caked up on that. So I'm glad I took this off, give that a bit of a clean. Yeah, so I definitely think it's worth taking this off. It's not difficult to take off at all, it's really easy. I definitely think it's worth taking these off and having a look and giving it a clean underneath if you can, because like I said, in here is a hidden away spot, which is a prime spot for crap to build up in, really. And as it's right next to your chain, it's certainly a good idea to give it a clean. Thankfully, the front sprocket looks fine. So, right, another thing I wanted to talk today about what I'm going to do about the bike anyway is things I'm probably going to do to it. I've changed my mind on one thing, and that's the brake lines. Stupidly before, I mean, I didn't even think about the fact that obviously the bike has ABS, so I've looked into it and changing all the brake lines for this. Number one would be really expensive, and 2, just not worth it because of how many brake lines are on it and how much of a pain it would be to do it. I just really don't think it's worth it. I've watched videos of other people say the same sort of thing, really. If you've got a bike with no ABS and it's just straight from the reservoir down to the caliper, it's easy and it's a no-brainer, really. But when you've got a bike that's got ABS on it, I've never really seen anybody tend to do it. That's probably why I've never come across on any of the groups or forums or anything anyone saying that they have bothered changing their brake lines to braided ones on one of these, purely because I think it's just not worth it. But back onto the subject of cleaning and mods. Another thing I've decided that I think would be good, because one place I've struggled to clean is the rear shock. And one thing I probably am going to get, or what I do like the idea of, is a rear hugger. You can get some nice carbon fibre looking ones, just to sit down there, because you can't really see it on the camera, but one place that's really hard to clean is the rear shock. And I've actually noticed a second ago that it is actually, I'm not sure if you can see it, it is caked in quite a lot of crap. So yeah, the main purpose of rear hugger really is to come up to sort of there, and it's to stop flinging all the crap off the road onto the rear shock. And of course, bonus, they look cool. So yeah, that's another thing I've decided I want. But yeah, I've decided against the brake lines. These are obviously still my main priority. These cans, I want rid of them as soon as I can, really, because they just completely ruin the bike, if you ask me. There's nothing else. There really isn't much else, to be honest with you, I want to do to it, I don't think. The cans, the rear hugger, the brake lines, as I said, I've changed my mind against. The screen is the other main thing. I think. I've taken the old one off just to give it a clean all around the lugs, and as I was taking it apart I thought why not, so I've taken the screen off. I don't think I'll bother actually putting that one over there back on, because I mean screens are cheap enough, they're not expensive, so I think because I need a double bubble one, because on the motorways it's really not pleasant at all. The wind force is a bit too much, because that screen has no protection whatsoever. So one thing I am definitely going to do, I think, while the bike is in pieces like this, is I'm going to change the coolant, because I reckon there's a good chance that's probably the original coolant in there. This bike's 2012, so that's 10 years ago. So while it's all in pieces like this and everything's easy to get to, it seems silly not to do it. So I've got the a new drain plug washer from Kawasaki already. I just need to go and get the coolant for it. So I'm definitely going to do that. Right, so that's it for me on this one, guys. That's just a quick update on what's going on with the ZZR. Not much at the minute, because you know, time's tight, life's busy. Yeah, but I'm going to look into getting the coolant, to do the coolant change pretty soon over the winter. I'm hopefully going to do that sometime in the next couple of weeks. And everything else will just be, you know, cost and time depending, really. So stay tuned. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.